Hello, Petroma Therapy subscribers. Today is December, near the end of the year 2020. The temperature in Dallas is 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 21 degrees Celsius. It's warm, it's sunny, it's festive. Today we're in season 3, winter, episode 8, which is called Subscribe. So if you look at our cover shot, which I took, these are a few publications that I subscribe to. You will see the New Yorker magazine. It's a 2020 edition, and you'll see some people sitting on their front porch, social distancing around a little barbecue pit. And it's kind of apt for the coronavirus end of the year. I was so surprised when I looked up close that the New Yorker magazine is almost $10 a copy now. That's flippin' insane. Another magazine that I subscribe to, an actual physical magazine, is called Art and Antiques. And how did I subscribe to this? You know how like our phone and email feed knows what we're thinking, sometimes sends us suggestions. Well,
Yeah.
I guess that someone somewhere in the computer world figured out I like art and antiques. They sent me a special for this art and antiques for collectors of the fine arts and decorative arts. It's an amazing publication. And then a third one is the Catholic Worker newspaper published out of Houston, Texas. So those are some physical magazines and that I subscribe to. What do you subscribe to there in Moscow?
I like, first, I gotta say, I love your introductions. They are somehow a story in itself. I think you deserve your own radio station. Everybody will be excited to turn it on in the morning and listen to you every day. And I think we gotta make it right.
Oh,
As
good.
for the subscriptions, I have subscribed to a few in the past, printed magazines, but never ended up reading them, so I stopped, honestly. Um, Especially now, I used to subscribe, but I don't see a point anymore. Everything is digital these days, don't you think?
Well, there are yeah, a lot of things are digital and there's a lot of paper to keep up with. But I have a friend that I used to teach with in Houston, Texas. His name was Chris. He was another English professor, and he was one of his prized possessions was red leather bound copies of Stendhal, the complete works of Stendhal. So he was like a great he loved books, and also I love books. So we used to always talk to each other about who had the most amazing book collection. And then when I moved from Houston to Dallas, he got in touch with me and asked me what I was doing. And I said that, I don't know, sometimes on Sunday, instead of going to church, I will pick up some coffee and some McDonald's and some of my old magazines, and I'll just drive them down to these street people that live near downtown in Dallas. And I claim that my homeless people are better read than his. And he's kind of a lapsed Catholic. So I told him he better get a move on and start recycling some of his magazines. But yeah, a lot of people subscribe to Wall Street Journal, New York Times, the Moscow Times. I actually like. It's written by some expats that live in the Netherlands, I think. Do
Hmm.
you read the Moscow Times?
Oh, no, I read New York Times, but you just made me think. When I was a kid, as long as we speak about printed magazines, I remember when I was a kid. That was before the internet happened, a long time ago. I remember when I was a
Yes.
kid, for some reason, I loved getting all these magazines and reading through them. But now it was so much simpler these days. Now I don't even know how much I'm paying for my subscription services for these digital ones. A lot, I think, dollars adding up fast for all this. I don't know. I have to I have to ask you if you have any digital subscriptions or not.
Oh, I try not to spend money. I
Wise.
actually have taken the Texas Monthly magazine, and I've figured out a way to read about 5 or 6 newspapers online, just the first 2 pages without paying. So I actually read New York Times, Wall Street Journal, San Antonio Express, Houston Chronicle, Dallas Morning News, Newark News. So I read about six, not every single day, but I read about six newspapers without paying.
Yeah.
But I don't
Well,
read all the articles in depth. I just every month I can get like 5 articles. So yeah,
I'm trying to read it for free, but sitting here and speaking about this, I think that online subscriptions, comparing to what I had when I was a kid, online subscriptions sure sound cheap, but like few bucks a month to watch some shows or store photos
yeah.
online and stream music. But then again, it turns out quite a lot. Turns out I
Well,
spent, I think, like $50, I think, last time, and I don't even know how to cancel the subscription. I have to audit them.
oh, that's another thing. Once they get you, it's hard. Now I have a friend who has several people on his Netflix accounts, so I can watch everything on Netflix because he has me as one of the people in his household. So lucky me, I don't pay for Netflix and I can watch whatever's coming through Netflix. But Netflix just went up because with COVID, everybody's trapped at home and there was some controversy about stuff. So
Yeah,
Netflix decided to jack the prices up. Well, actually, the word subscribe is an interesting word. And I think as we were discussing what we should do for this episode, you were saying that you've heard the expression. Do you subscribe to that as an expression to refer to? Do you believe in that, or
yeah, yeah.
how do you use
I
that
love that.
expression?
I love that. Somehow, if you ask me, like, do you believe in COVID conspiracy? I say, no, I don't subscribe for that. That would be like, no, I don't believe in it. But do you use it in the
Oh,
U.S.? Is that kind of a slang word, or does it come from Europe?
um, I would say in polite conversation, you would use a complete sentence like, I don't subscribe to that. I don't subscribe to. That's like 7 words. But American English is much more truncated. It's like, I would just say, nah.
Hmm. Hey, you said seven words, and I think it's only two. Like sub
I
means
don't
under.
subscribe to that.
Sub means under, like one word, and then scribe. I think it's in Latin, means right. So subscribe, under right, right? Does that make any sense?
Uh,
Like
does it make
subscribe.
sense?
No, it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. Oh,
No, does you mean that's the etymology? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yes, it
But then
does
again,
make sense.
remember to like and subscribe. And once I like it, I am liked. And once I subscribe, I am subscribed. It's a poem. I don't think if it's
Well,
strictly grammatical to say I am subscribed. I don't know. I'm
no,
fine.
that sounds wacky. What you would say is that's like just
Wacky.
wacky,
Yeah. What's wacky
wacky.
means? Like wacky, what does it mean, wacky?
Wacky. Well,
Etymology.
you laughed, so you know what it means. It's like that's like weird. Like you would never
Oh,
say
weird.
I'm
Weird, I
subscribed.
know.
It's
Uh,
I it would you would just say I have subscribed to his music channel, like we have subscribed to Mark's station, which is all about trains,
hmm,
and we interviewed him a couple episodes ago. We're going to interview Mark again on next Monday for
huh,
more about train stations. But I would say I have subscribed to Mark's station,
yeah.
but I would never say if somebody invited me to go drink a beer, I wouldn't say I subscribe to drinking beers on Saturday afternoons.
Hmm. Well,
Hmm.
you you also mentioned Netflix, and I think I'm just making an analogy with some kind of Apple what you call it, Apple Cloud or something. Because I was trying to cancel my subscription the other day. I couldn't find how to do it. They camouflaged it so well. I was gonna cancel it ahead of time because otherwise you forget about that, and even if you don't use it, they keep charging
Oh
you, and you'll
yes.
have to
Oh
like
yes.
keep track of everything that they uh, debit of your account, and you don't have to wait until the last minute to cancel a subscription. But you know,
It's difficult. I know that my phone service uh, Cricket
Yeah.
is like tagged onto something else. So they say you can save $5 per month on your bill if you do an automatic subscription.
Oh, I hate
But
that automatic subscription. That's like two most hated words
yes,
to me.
so that's what I don't do that. I pay that extra $5 to have my autonomy and my freedom because once you subscribe, if you to that automatic thing, there's like 2 pages of fine print that say they can do raise the fee, they can do add-ons this, they can add on that. Like you just sign your life away.
Hmm.
It's really it's difficult
It's very, very, yeah.
these days to be free. Once I subscribed, I think I was in Houston. It's like 10, 12 years ago. I took some students to the opera once. We went to see Don Giovanni. And so I got a teacher's subscription for a one-time event, and I took like 10 students and my 2 children, and we went to see Don Giovanni at the Opera House in Houston. And I only paid for a one-time event, but they had my email, and I paid by credit card. And then they mailed, you could pick up your tickets at the box office. So I went there, blah, 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 blah. You know, one daughter fell asleep. Everyone else was glued listening to it. But I only went once. And then month after month after month, they sent me emails. They sent me printed things asking me to renew. It went on for 5 years. I remember it was 5 years because I like the number five,
Yeah.
trying to get me to renew my subscription. I called them at the box office. I said I was a one-time event teacher. I checked the box, one-time event,
Yeah.
and they just like clawed into my leg and wouldn't let go.
Absolutely. It's very challenging to find out what services you're still subscribed to for me, and let alone how to discontinue membership. That's like a real challenge. Hey, you mentioned Don Giovanni. I think does that we call it Don Juan, Don Juan. Was that? Is it the same opera or?
Don Giovanni.
Yeah, that's in
Don.
Don
Yeah, I
Giovanni
love
is in
that.
Italian probably, but in Spanish you would say Don Juan or Don Juan. I have to look it up. I'm not sure. Probably there
Well,
is some.
Giovanni is John in English
Hmm.
and Juan in Spanish, but the famous opera by Mozart is Don Giovanni.
Yeah.
But I know too that here in Dallas is at SMU campus. There's a beautiful Latin American collection at their museum, and somehow they had these different levels of membership. So they had like oh all these different levels of membership with all these extra perks and all this stuff.
Hmm.
So I got the lowest level of membership. You could go to all the events, go to cocktail parties, bring a friend, have 2 drinks, have hors d'oeuvres, wander around and see the art. And it was called the Goya level because
Hmm.
Francesco Goya. And I had it for 1 year, but I don't know. I never could have find anybody go, and I only had it for 1 year.
Yeah. When
And
you
then as
sell.
soon as yeah, it's awful. And as soon as COVID hit the fan, I was getting more and more requests. Please renew your membership. Please renew it. I kept hitting the unsubscribe. And even though I would hit unsubscribe on my computer, I finally called somebody in the office, and then nobody was in the office. They wanted me to leave my name, promising to call me back. I just got so frustrated that I just, wanted to light my hair on fire.
Yeah. It's like get get unsubscribed from me, Satan. When you said that was the lowest
Yeah.
level of membership, I thought, and you said Goya membership, I thought you were gonna say student subscription or something.
No, 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 no. They don't call it that. Well, they also have student and they also have military, but I'm saying like the official memberships. So like I filled out my application as,
Yeah.
professor and all these, formal names. Like they want to know what your prefix is, like Miss, Ms., doctor, and then or it says other. So like under other, I wrote down professor.
Mhm.
So like I get all my mail like professor. Like I feel so important when I get my mail.
Absolutely. Well, sometimes it's
Well,
okay to indulge yourself, and why wouldn't feel important? It's not the chance everybody gets. So I wish I could feel important, but maybe in the future, maybe in the next life, I will feel important one day. But
Well, maybe you should go out and buy a car. If you buy a car, sometimes that makes people feel important.
no, I tried that. Didn't work.
It
I
it
don't know
did
what
it.
to buy anymore. Have
Well, you were
everything. I
talking
bought
once about
everything I
Italian
could.
shoes and about getting
Yeah, but
some.
it only gives you the sense of achievement, or I don't know, for a day or two, and then is there all there is? There's got to be something else, and there's I don't know what it is. I'm totally lost. That's why I'm in therapy.
Well, I'm also in therapy, and our next episode is going to be about Norman Rockwell, and then episode 10 is going to be about train stations. So that we hope that our listeners will subscribe and enjoy our little rants and raves about this, that, and the other. And we will see you. We will see you next episode.
You're gonna say bye?
No, I don't want to say goodbye. I
Me,
never want to say goodbye.
me neither.
Okay, adios for now.